The formula, of course, is the different meditations that we do.
Okay.
And I now know, it's so wild because we've done so many great measurements, that in certain meditations, I can say certain words, and all 14 people that are getting their brain scanned will all go into gamma at the same time. They're
Really?
conditioned.
Wow.
They're conditioned. So the formula is we now know how to get people into that state, and then once they're in that state, now they're accessing from the field. They're connected to something greater. And now it becomes less about changing matter. They don't change matter. That's the illusion. They just change the field. And when you change the field, it changes matter. So people are changing their beliefs on how that's done. So the formula then is getting to that point where they get beyond themselves and they're connecting to the consciousness of everybody, of everyone, of everything, of everywhere, of every time. That is the oneness field. That is the field. That's where all the information exists. Now, there's a caveat to this because we've seen this so many times, because when you reach that moment, all the things that you thought you wanted, you no longer want because you feel like you have everything. And it's a very unusual feeling, because the side effect of that is that you now are less interested in anything outside of you bringing you joy. It's coming from within you. That's what you want. And so then imagine, like our students, certain people, their oxytocin levels go up 200 or 300 times at the end of a workshop. Now, oxytocin is the love chemical.
Yes.
So imagine having so much love for life. I mean, oxytocin levels, Lisa, normally go up when a female mammal is bonding with her offspring, or in the beginning stages of a relationship, and there's intimacy. The oxytocin creates monogamy and bonding and stuff. And my colleagues that look at my research, they say, why are you measuring oxytocin in your workshops? I mean, that's normally, in the honeymoon stage of a relationship. What are you guys doing there? And I say, I want our students to fall in love with their future, fall in love with the divine.
You have to, yes.
And
yes.
My goodness. So then when oxytocin levels go up 200 times, imagine feeling so much love, you wouldn't want to trade this feeling for anyone or anything. Imagine, this is an important point, because what is unconditional love? Isn't it when you just allow people, right? Imagine having so much, feeling that consistent feeling. It's measured in their oxytocin levels, their neurotransmitters, their heart coherence, there's different brain systems switched on. You would say, I'm not going to give this feeling up for anyone or anything. Now, that's the moment you're free. Now, that's the moment where you're less likely to rely on anybody outside of you to bring you love. In fact, you just feel love for no reason. If I can get a group of people together and I can give them sound scientific information, and science is the contemporary language of mysticism. Science is what demystifies the mystical. The moment you talk religion or culture or tradition, you're going to divide an audience, because someone's going to switch off. Yeah. But when you use science, science creates that kind of unification. So every time you learn something new, you know this, you've seen the videos, you make new connections in your brain, right? So if I'm combining quantum physics with neuroscience, neuroendocrinology, psychoneuroimmunology, epigenetics, whatever, and I'm putting it together in a model for them to understand, they're learning that information. Well, if learning is making new connections, remembering is maintaining them. So if I say to them, turn the person next to you and explain what I just said, if they can't explain it, it's not wired in their brain. So between the two people, they start building a model of understanding, right? And they start to I don't want to hear about your past or any other theories, just repeat what I said. So as they begin to fire and wire those circuits, they're installing the neurological hardware in their brain in preparation for an experience. And the more they understand what they're doing and why, the how gets easier. So then if I can set up the conditions in the environment and give them the proper instruction, the people that get their behaviors to match their intentions and their actions equal to their thoughts, they're going to have some type of new experience or transformation. So then the transformation then that we've measured over the years, gives me more information to teach transformation the next time, right?
Yes, yes.
So now we just got it down to a little bit more of a science. So that first day, look, I've looked at enough brain scans in real time, and I know this now, that when you analyze your life within some disturbing emotion, you're going to make your brain worse because you're thinking in the past. When you get that person beyond their analytical mind and beyond those emotions, they're free. They'll have the answer because they're outside the box. They're free to see it from a different perspective. When you leave this three-dimensional reality,
Okay.
the fourth dimensional reality is time, right? And when you're somebody, a someone with something living somewhere and in some time, you're your personality trapped in three-dimensional reality. You got to play by the rules of three-dimensional reality, Newtonian physics. The moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, that's the moment you become pure consciousness, and you're disinvesting all your attention and energy out of this three-dimensional reality. Now, that is the bridge to the quantum. So then when you start paying attention to that energy, that information, and you start connecting to greater and greater degrees of oneness and wholeness, and you become the consciousness of everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, and every time, now you're entering that fifth dimension where there are multiple realities that you get to experience simultaneously. Now this is the mystical. This is the end part of our workshops, that Saturday and Sunday, where we explain the secret elixirs of the pineal gland and how to activate that little radio receiver in the back of your brain that picks up information. And what happens when the metabolites are released from derivatives of melatonin that switch on different systems. That's when you start to experience more of yourself. Not the self called Lisa, the very big Lisa that has this connection to so many different realms and possibilities. And again, you can't come back as the same person. Can't. If you're going to create like a vision, a dream of what you want, a new job or whatever, it's a new relationship, a new house, it's going to take you time to go get it because you got to drag your body through space and it takes time.
Yes.
When you create from the fifth dimension, you actually are doing the opposite. You're actually collapsing space and time and you're drawing the experience to you. You don't go and get it. When there's a vibrational match with your energy and something in your future and you're creating from the fifth, you're not playing by Newtonian physics any longer. You're playing by quantum, which means now you are drawing your future to you. You're the magnet to your destiny. So things start showing up in your life out of nowhere because you created them from nowhere. Something appears out of nothing because you created it from nothing, and it happens in no time because you created it in no time. And so now you're less likely to go and get it. You're more likely to tune into it and bring it to you. So now you're not rushing anywhere to get it. You feel like you understand that there's a different way to do it. So I'm proud to say that the people in our community that do this work, they do it every day. You know why? Because they see the magic. And they don't want the magic to end.
It's
and
effortless.
They don't wake up and say, oh God, I got to create my future today. They're not like that. They're like, let's go.
Yeah.
They're excited to do it, and the enthusiasm is the energy of creation, right? So, I do watch the news because I want to be informed, but as for me personally, I never focus on people. I focus on principles.
Okay.
So when you focus on a principle, you're less likely to put it on a person or a thing. When you focus on principles, people can align with principles and no longer be deceived by people or things. And so I do watch it because I want to be informed, and I do think this is a really incredible time to be alive. Because a new awareness, because of knowledge and information, creates a new consciousness creates a new energy, and that new energy is unraveling everything. Politically, economically, socially, religion, education, journalism, the environment, medicine, everything's coming apart because it should. We're way more powerful than all of this, and all those things have to be exposed for people to really realize, oh, it's always been within me. I have a great job in witnessing human transformation and being a part of transformation. And we're wired to care for one another. We're wired to serve one another. We're wired to truly contribute to one another. That's who we are. All of this media and television and war and politics, prejudice, all to create lack of trust and separation, right? So when you witness that kind of transformation, all the lost luggage, all the missed flights, all the late flights, all the challenges we have, none of it matters for that one person who stands up and says, my tumor's gone. That, to me, I changed somebody's future, and that person is going to change other people's future. And one friend of mine said the other day, who had brain cancer, that just got a clean bill of health, a West Point graduate. Wow. She went to her doctor. You know what her doctor said to her? Now I remember why I got into medicine in the first place. She changed his life just by saying, and he pronounced her, she wasn't going to make it a few times, and she never gave up. You never know what you do in choosing to believe in this stuff, who you're going to affect in some future time. And that's what creates community. And that kind of emergence of people that share the same energy, the same beliefs, the same thoughts, the same behaviors. That's a new community. And you don't try to fix what's broken. You create something better. And everybody leaves there and goes to there. And for me, I just want to contribute in some way and make a difference.